What is your origin story?
Big Jay was my co-host on SDR for like 10 years. And he said, hey, I have this podcast I've been doing for a year or two called Legion of Skanks, and maybe you and I would do a podcast together. And I had the biggest, I've said this many times, but like the biggest response ever. And I was like, podcasting is for people that can't do radio.
Welcome to the Close the Door Behind You podcast with special guest Ralph Sutton. As
Howdy.
always, I am Doc Jud, and to my left is ChrisTos. Ralph, welcome.
Thank you. I like that you're an actual doctor, not just wearing stupid doctor shirt or whatever you call that thing, medical jacket. What do you call it?
This is a white coat.
Yeah, but is there a name for it? It's also
I think
like
they call it a white coat.
but it's
Call it
like
a white
deli
coat.
guys wear it too, right?
Oh,
It's the
that's
same
true.
thing.
You look
We
more
kinda
like
do.
a deli guy than a
Yeah,
doctor.
I thought he was a deli guy.
He
first,
kind of
yeah.
is, in a way.
But Seinfeld talked about that, how like going to the doctor's kind of like going to the deli because we like take the paper and like wrap it up like the deli paper.
Right. Like,
So, yeah, so this is a white coat. You have a white coat ceremony when you graduate medical school, and they give you the white coat. And you're supposed to feel like, you know, your mom is
Special?
probably the person who feels the most special is your mom.
probably. Sounds insulting the way you say it like that, like it was sexual.
yeah, your mom.
Your mom probably feels special.
Not your mom. My mom and dad. So, let's see. So there's a lot to unpack with you, Ralph Sutton. I mean, it sounds like you've had a pretty interesting career. I mean, you've started GaS Digital Studios. You've got the Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll podcast. And so, like, what is your origin story? It seems like you were broadcasting. You were somehow in the rock and roll world. Like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, cool.
The Big Jay was my co-host on SDR for like 10 years, and he used to always shit on me for this because it's hard to prove that we ever got good, but my twin brother and I were breakdancers in Brooklyn and two of the only decent white breakdancers.
Whoa.
And we were in a movie called Crush Groove. There was only a few movies that were on breakdancing. I was 14 or something like that, right? And then I got into the illegal aspect of computers when I was 15 or 16 and was wanted by the FBI for computer hacking, where they came to my door. My father had to get us a lawyer. We got out of that. And then at some point, we started getting into like being social people and started running nightclubs and became party promoters in New York. And my brother and I ran some of the biggest nightclubs in New York, like Palladium and Limelight and Mars.
Oh, with Peter Gation?
Peter Gation. I knew Peter well.
Wow.
And all that, running those nights for a very long time. And then in the early 90s, when rock became more popular, we moved into the rock clubs. My brother and I parted ways as promoters because he didn't like rock. And a friend of mine and I started running rock clubs. We did that for a couple of years. And then rock changed in 92 when it became, Nirvana's
Grunge,
and the
yeah.
grunge. All the party rock clubs kind of went out of business. And all the strippers used to come to Limelight on Sunday nights because it was rock and roll church Sunday nights. So if you wanted to potentially blow Axl Rose, your stripper, you'd come to Limelight on a Sunday in the hopes of meeting him, and sometimes he would be there, And so when we got fired from Limelight, the owner of Scores, which was a strip club in New York, said, you know all the girls anyway, so just come here. And I started working as a strip club DJ in 92 at Scores in Manhattan.
Oh, no way.
And I did that for a very long time. Scores, Pure Platinum, Dollhouse, and then...
Was that when Howard Stern used to come out all
No,
the time?
he came a little bit before, but I was actually on Howard Stern once, called in, because they had a girl on that was telling you how to have sex with strippers. And I was a DJ at the strip clubs at the time, but not at Scores anymore. I had left Scores. And I said, what she's saying is bullshit. I can tell you how to do it. I was a DJ at Scores, and they put me on. And I was on the Howard Stern show, the prime Howard Stern show days, talking about how to have sex with strippers.
So how do you do it?
Well, this is back then. It's different now.
Right, because now they have TikTok.
Right, but because she was saying you go in a busy night, you spend a lot of money, you let them know you're a baller kind of thing. I'm like, no, that's exactly the wrong way. You go on a dead night, you be very personable and just say, let me buy you a drink, we'll talk, blah, 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 and show that you're a social person. And that's how you do it. And that does work. I don't know if it works anymore because strip clubs are not what they used to be.
Yeah.
But long story longer, at strip clubs for a while, I ended up getting a job in radio through another strip club DJ. got that to be a show that was on about 100 stations in radio, syndicated around the country, and I ended up being a VJ on VH1 and MTV and hosting a lot of rock festivals around the country. And at some point, I was hosting this thing called Shiprocked. They asked me if I knew any rock comedians, and I said, I met this guy, Big Jay Oakerson, he's kind of funny. Brought him on the show, on the boat. They ended up partnering together, and we just made each other laugh. And he said, hey, I have this podcast I've been doing for a year or two called Legion of Skanks, and maybe you and I would do a podcast together. And I had the biggest, I've said this many times, it was like the douchiest response ever. And I was like, podcasting is for people that can't do radio. And I'm doing radio, so thank you, but no.
Thank you.
And then a year later, he was a comic again. I was the host again. And I had heard that whole year about how podcasting is changing everything. I said, hey, if you still want to do a podcast, we could do a podcast. And he goes, yeah, I'd love to. So we just started recording podcasts after my radio show, which I was doing in my house. So I would bring a rock star on and say, hey, hang out and do a podcast with us. And that's how we started the podcast. And I met Lewis through Jay. And about a year into the SDR show, Lewis had his podcast called Real Ass Podcast, and we would swap ideas on how to get podcast listeners. And we had an idea that we would open up a podcast comedy club together. It was called The Pod.
Okay.
But we couldn't find anything in New York that the numbers made sense.
Right.
It's so fucking expensive.
Right.
And I already had my home studio, so I said, why don't we do what I do in radio, which is affiliates, like syndication. So we had Tour Bus was on about 100 stations, but most of them were small stations in the middle of fucking nowhere, but you put 100 together, we had a 500,000 people listening every weekend. So I said, let's get 3 or 4 other like-kind podcasts. They'll use my studio for free, and I can sell ads from my radio and say added value will put you on this network.
Yes.
And that's how we started in 2016 with 4 shows.
And that's the birth of GaS
And
Digital.
that was the birth of GaS Digital in my house, in my second bedroom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm really curious about is that you obviously have a very large fund of knowledge of crazy things that have happened in nightclubs in New York City as well as strip clubs. Can you tell us about a story, like your favorite story of something that happened in a strip club in New York City?
So I actually wrote a book about my time in strip clubs, and I had a deal, and we lost it, and because it was right when the Janet Jackson Nipplegate thing happened.
Yeah.
Remember that? And the publisher pulled the deal because they got very conservative in America after that. But this story was the catalyst for me to say, fuck this. I went into the DJ booth and wrote the first 20 pages of my story, right?
Wow.
Which is, if you don't know strip clubs, there's the DJ.
I've never been to one.
I'm sure you never have. You
Yeah.
seem like a wholesome guy.
Yeah.
In the dressing room, there's what's called a house mom. And she monitors everyone's shit, the girls, so that they don't steal each other's clothes or garter belts or money, that she keeps perfume. She keeps like semblance in the locker room. And my job as the DJ was I'd go in maybe a half hour before my shift started. It was always bizarre because just naked girls everywhere, to make a list of all the girls that were there and which girls like this kind of music or whatever. And you do that every day. It's just what you do. So I walk in, and there was a day shift and a night shift, so I'd walk in during the crossover. So there's a bunch of people in there already. And there's this Spanish girl that I did not know and a Russian girl that had been working there before, screaming and yelling at each other with a house mom trying to separate them, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the Russian girl says, this girl stole $400 from me. I know it was her. She took the money from me. So they check her locker, they check her garter, they're looking at her friends. No one has 4 $100 bills. The house mom was like 65. She used to be a burlesque dancer. She was very gruffy kind of woman. She looks at the Spanish girl and she goes, I know where you have it. The Spanish girl pulls down her fucking G-string and goes like this, check me. House mom puts her fucking hand up the girl's cunt, excuse my language, and takes out $400 wrapped up like this and throws it in the sink, right? They throw the girl out naked, right? And then what's crazy is the Russian girl, which I always thought was hilarious, she just took the money, put it in her fucking...
Like it was nothing.
From one box to another, like just straight in, and...
Wait, she put it into her own box?
No, she put it in her purse. Yeah. But that was crazy. And that night I'm like, well, fuck this, I got to go write a book.
Yeah.
And that's how it
That's
started.
good stuff,
crazy.
man. That reminds me of
the
a time when...
confidence to go like,
Check me.
Yeah.
No way this woman's putting her fucking...
And then she's like, Yeah, she earned her salary, right?
Yeah.
One time I was working in an ER, and the head nurse came up to me. She's like, "So there's this transgender individual, and the transgender individual is claiming that it's a woman. She's a woman, but they're going to go to a room that has many women in it. So you're going to have to go check the woman."
Wait, making sure that she is a woman.
Correct.
Oh, check.
So I literally had to, it was the most awkward thing I've ever had to do. So I had to like go up to this individual who had transitioned from a man to a female and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And like she was like super proud to show me. She's like, "Oh yeah." And she like I was like, "Wow." Like that is very, very, very valid looking. Like
Right.
Let me ask you on that topic. Is it at the point now where if you don't know, could you be with a woman
right.
that was a man and not know it? Is it that good?
In Thailand, for sure.
I think so.
You think that's possible?
I think it's possible. I mean, I think for somebody who has had who's been with like many, many, many women and really knows the contours of like what an original vagina is, I'm sure they probably could figure it out. But they're getting really, really good. In fact, I've got a surgeon who does the surgeries we're going to have as a guest on the podcast, and he could probably comment. We'll get back to that.
Because I'm curious, like because here's the thing.
They wouldn't be able to fool somebody like you who's obviously,
I'm 6'6". I tend to date taller women. The chances that, I think trans, exponentially chances that they're trans goes up higher after like 5'11", 6 feet, just because there's a lot less women that high.
Sure.
Right. And you're like an Adam's apple. I don't know.
I look the other way. But there have been times where I think, is this a girl? Like, maybe I'm wrong. But if I've seen them naked, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely a girl. But maybe I was, in my back of my mind, maybe Steve really isn't a woman. I don't know.
I think the best filter is to see if they're really cool. If they're really, cool, they're
that's the
probably a
problem.
man. Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah, for sure.
So how about like what's what's one of your favorite stories from working at Palladium, Limelight, that was like, by the way, just to like so our viewers understand, Palladium, Limelight, Twilo back in the 90s was like the 80s and 90s, the coolest clubs in New York City. So if you were in the mix there, like you were rubbing elbows with the coolest, best looking people, what's something that happened?
This one, it's funny because I just brought it up about a week ago because my friend that I DJ'd with, it's crazy. It was probably 91. And we would DJing on the rock nights. Me and my friend at the dais. If you don't know, Limelight was a church that was converted to a nightclub, and there was the main room, which was like the big room, but then there was a smaller room called the chapel, and we would DJ on the dais of the chapel. That's where the DJ booth was, and we're DJing, and there's commotion on the other side of the room, probably fit like 700 people. And everyone's crowding around this one group of people. I'm like, what the fuck? So I went out to see it, and it was Lenny Kravitz dancing with Madonna.
Oh, sick.
And this is like 91.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
What's the appeal of Lenny Kravitz though? Like,
come
I don't
on.
understand.
He's fucking great looking and in ridiculous shape and good music.
Well, that's my thing. Is like I can't name you more than one song from Lenny Kravitz.
Are you gonna go my way?
Okay, one.
Great song. Nothing's coming to mind right now.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
No, if I thought about it, there's like that whole first record that has like Mr. Cab Driver and stuff is a great record. That first record's awesome.
He is hot though.
And
Yeah,
he's great
that's
looking.
the-
And
that's
I've
the thing.
we've all seen his cock. It's fucking great looking.
I haven't seen his guy.
Oh, it was like he did like a squat and you saw his dick. That was like a thing that
Oh,
I've
no, I don't Google that stuff.
No, I'm
Ralph.
Googling it every day.
Is that your screensaver?
Just him squatting over and over. It's a GIF.
You hand someone your phone and take a picture for you.
It's crazy because he's still like touring. I mean, he just played "See Here Now" down at the Jersey Shore. I just saw him, and he's amazing.
He has so many good. "Stand by My Woman" now. That's a good song. Also, he has a lot of hits. He has a lot of good songs.
Okay, all right.
He's from a different generation.
Yeah.
No,
How
I
old-
like
how
that
old are you?
music. I'm 32.
Okay, you're too young to know that he was cool. Yeah, he was-
No, I know he was cool. I just never understood the appeal.
Yeah.
Like I knew all the music from that era for the most part, and like there was just nothing about.
I mean, I
him
think
that-
literally he could win the argument just with "Are You Gonna Go My Way." He doesn't need anything, even though there's other huge hits I'm not thinking about right now. But that one is just one of the fucking coolest rock songs of all
Yeah.
time.
Okay, I'll dive deeper into Spotify. How do you feel about Spotify?
In terms of how it
Everything.
fucks over artists,
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah.
But I do think what's wild now is that the barrier to entry with all things have changed to when when I was a kid, and in radio, there's fucking 5 radio jobs in New York. You didn't get one of those jobs, you had to move.
Yeah.
And same thing with music. If you didn't make a deal with one of the 3 labels, you got to move. You got to do. It's not going to happen. I love that fact that I have fucking songs on Spotify. I use AI to make stupid songs and put them up on Spotify. Anybody can do it. So I love that. But the sad truth about them fucking over people is what I don't like. But having said that, they are just having this restructure. I'm sure you know about the Creator Fund for Spotify.
No.
So once you get to a certain, GaS Digital now is part of this as well. So they're doing it with artists and they're doing it with podcasters. Once you have a certain amount of following, because if you're a paid subscriber on Spotify, you don't hear ads, right? So then you don't make money. For a long time, you wouldn't make money because no ads would be playing.
Right.
But now, if you get to that barrier, that threshold, the Creator Fund, you make money regardless because you get a piece of the subscriber money based on your listenership. So now, even if you're a musician that has a certain amount of followers, you're getting a bigger piece of that. And that they should have done that 10 years ago.
Well, they wouldn't have gotten their valuation.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have gotten the funding.
So at least they're doing something to correct.
Well, my thing with them is all these people kind of surprised that they're this sort of exploitative system of everything. But Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify, was the guy who made uTorrent.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny. That's
so
cool.
uTorrent.
The Onion thing?
No, it's basically how you would get music.
How you would share files before
right,
Napster, basically after
Yeah.
Napster,
Yeah. So he built most of his success from there, and then was let's go pseudo straight and do all this kind of stuff, and nobody took a second to be well, this guy already has a bad track record, of taking advantage of musicians.
So you probably
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that you had alluded that when you were 15 years old that you were into computers and stuff like that. So you probably were right in the mix with all of that, sharing stuff that was going on in the 90s.
No, because yes, I was, but I'm saying when I was doing the illegal shit, I'm 56, so we're talking about 1984. There was no internet yet for us that was dial-ups, so we were doing such dumb shit.
Like War Games stuff?
Yeah, basically. Did
you ever see War Games, the movie with Matthew Broderick?
No.
We were changing our friends' grades. We were
so cool.
changing our phone bill, that kind of dumb shit. And then at the time, how we got caught, we had just graduated elementary school. It was our second year of high school, and we missed our friends from elementary school. So we did conference calls where you call all your old buddies, and we're all on one call together. But back then, those calls would be $1,000 or $2,000 because it was so expensive. There wasn't even 3-way calling yet, I think, at the time.
Right.
So we would just charge it to some fucking nameless, faceless corporation. And we told one of our friends wanted to learn how to do it, and I said, "Listen, you need to follow these safeguards or you're going to get caught." And that person got caught because they didn't do it. And then they said, "Oh, we learned it from these guys." And that's how we got caught, my brother and I.
Yep. It's always that fucking the loser kid you didn't even want to invite, that ruins the party.
All right, more importantly, what breakdance moves did you do in the movie Crush Groove?
So the sad truth is that the scene got cut. Okay. So the scene, if you've seen the movie, you haven't, you maybe have, but it was all the biggest rap stars.
Run DMC
was in it. Curtis Blow, I think DMC was in it. LL Cool J, Run DMC, Fat Boys were in it. It was the movie of of that culture. And we all were at a concert. But the Fat Boys were supposedly going to be discovered at this concert. So when they go on, we were so amazed at how good they were, we bum rushed the stage and start breakdancing. Right? But that scene was cut. You just see this. The scene is us at the concert watching these performers. But that scene is not in the movie.
But they thought it was a little unrealistic.
I think the whole movie was unrealistic, but it's probably just cut for time. But it just was. It was a horrible movie. But there's only 4 breakdancing movies, so we were at least there for the day.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
It's ridiculous.
The Roxy scene in Beach Street, though, that's a great.
That's
an amazing
it's an
scene.
amazing scene. Yeah, that was Mr. Freeze. I think that was doing that. Yeah, that was. We knew all those guys.
So
which is
cool.
funny. They called us the Mighty Whiteys because there was 4 good white breakdancers in Brooklyn, and that was our nickname from amongst the black and Spanish kids who were great. They'd allow us to break.
Could you do head spins?
No, I wasn't head. I was hand spins, floats,
Damn.
a lot of hand stuff.
Yeah.
Windmills were everybody had to
sick.
do at least windmills, And then a lot of other little stupid. I was wild that I was unflexible now, but I was wildly flexible. So I could like throw my foot over my head without touching it. You know, I'd be like that, and that would be, everyone would go like, oh, shit. Like, it was such a dumb thing. We were laughing about it. I'm still friends with a few friends. We thought it's so wild how important these stupid battles were for us. Like, it was so important that we were battle. It was so dumb.
Did you guys have, like, Mighty Whitey's outfits?
No, we were called the Fast Action Rockers. They called us, it was an affection, a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Because in the gym I went to high school in John Dewey High School in Coney Island, and they would have, it was so popular at the time that there was like times when you could break dance in the gym. Because they were going to do it anyway, and so there was like the side of the gym for the good people, and then the side that was the bad people. And we were the only 4 white kids on the good side.
Wow!
And I was like, oh, here come the Mighty Whiteys again.
That's crazy. You guys should have all had like matching white hoodies.
It wasn't easy to make shirts that much back then either. It was the iron-on felt shitty shirts. It was a crazy time. We'd go battle in like Coney Island. We'd go battle. You know, it was nuts. We'd enter breakdancing competitions. So stupid.
So how'd you stop? Like it was just...
So I made the bizarre transition. I saw War Games, right? And I remember saying to my brother, I think computers are going to be important, right? So we were the only 2 kids, men or boys, that were in typing class. Because at the time it was just women that were going to be secretaries.
Right.
And I felt like we're going to need to know how to type. And by our senior year, there was a computer room where they had like shitty TRS-80 computers that were black and white, basic programming stuff. But I made this odd transition where I felt it was important. And all my breakdancing friends were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, let's go fucking meet chicks and go battle. And I'm like, I want to learn this. And we would have arguments because I didn't want to go breakdance anymore.
Right.
My brother lasted a little longer than I did. Wow. And I became obsessed with computers.
Wow. So, like, obviously, like, there's this common theme that you've had throughout your career and your life of, like, seeing the opportunity, pivoting, and, like, having that foresight. Like, what was, like, the mantra or the ethos that you had, like, when you were at each one of these crossroads that helped you make these decisions?
I always would look at it when I was younger, that I was young enough to make mistakes. I remember when I left, I was running I went to cooking school and I ran a restaurant for 4 years. And I remember having the opportunity, I was still doing the strip club 1 day or 2 days a week because I could make so much fucking money. But I was given this opportunity to work in radio for $6 an hour from my house, midnight to 6 in the morning, which was just going to fuck me up, But I really wanted to do radio. I remember thinking to myself, I'm not married. I don't have kids. If I fuck up, it's only me that I have to worry about. So I might as well give it a shot. And I would always look at all these things that none of them were like not worth taking the shot because you'll pick yourself up no matter what the fuck it is.
Right.
So I like when I left radio to go to podcasting, I did it pretty immediately. We were still on probably 50 stations, but I could just feel like radio felt sad. The story, I've told this a lot, but I was hosting this thing called the M3 Rock Festival in Baltimore, Maryland. It was like maybe my 5th or 6th year hosting it. And when you leave a concert at the backstage area, there's usually the biggest radio station that like reps the town right there. And then down Radio Row would be a news reporter or this or that. And the further down, the smaller you are, right? So it was almost always the local radio station and then my show. Because we were on a bunch of, we might have even been on that channel sometimes, that station. And by the 4th or 5th year, we were going further and further down the road because our importance was being replaced by YouTubers or Spotify or whatever the fuck. And the last year, we were legitimately the last possible booth on that. And I was like, this doesn't feel right anymore. And it was, the writing was on the wall that radio was fucking dying. And all these people, all my friends in radio were holding on. And I just felt like this is an opportunity. I got to go all in on this.
Right.
And
what's left now? Like Delilah?
Nothing's left. Yeah. Nothing left. The radio's stupid because they could still matter. But to be live and local. I would listen to a live and local radio show because all podcasting is for the mass, for the nationwide audience. local fucking radio that you know the restaurants that are opening, you know what bands are playing in the area, you know the best slice of pizza, I would listen to that show. It just doesn't exist.
Well, is there an opportunity there for like regional podcasting, radio, live?
The CPM rates on podcasting is too low that I don't think it would work, but it could. But also, everybody owns a fucking radio still. You know, maybe not so much now, but at one point it was the most owned appliance in the world.
Right. Huh. And Radio Shack died. Jeez. Wait, so when you're doing all that, like there's this thing that I was reading about, like a lot of these like super successful people, when they go into these decision-making things, what gets them the leg up is that they have no safety net. There's no
plan B.
No plan B.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, there's that old adage, if you have a plan B, you don't really have a plan A. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think I agree with that. I was still DJing in the strip club because I'd make a shit ton of money in one night. So that's a safety net. You know, I came from a relatively lucky background where I knew I wasn't going to be homeless. So I can't really look at it that way. But I think any decision, it's all relative. How you grew up is relative to how you're going to live. Where you're 180ing your life, it's still going to be chancy. It's great. I mean, I was making solid money with health insurance, free food every day because it's a restaurant. Had a parking space. I ran a restaurant that had like 70 employees. We were doing great.
In Manhattan or
Manhattan on 65th and Madison. And
what kind of restaurant was it?
French. It was called Ferrier. It was open. It was open for like 12 years. But I ran.
What do they call the workers? The fairies?
Ferries. Yeah. Ferrier means vacation in French.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I fucking left that to make $6 an hour from my house. There were times where I would work midnight to 6 in the morning, and I still was doing both jobs, and I would drive an hour and a half and go straight to the restaurant and start my shift at 8 in the morning. It was fucking horrible.
Cow. So you were burning the candle at
Oh, it was
both
horrible.
ends.
Yeah. I couldn't do that now. I'm too fucking old.
But you were like in your 20s.
I was in my early 30s. I started at 29 at the radio station.
Okay, cool.
And so what's the story with it? So that's the only restaurant that you went into, but it sounds like it's wildly successful if it lasted for 12 years.
Yeah, but I came in after a manager was leaving. I knew the owner. They were looking for somebody, and he offered me the management position. And then I decided I wanted to learn every aspect of it. So I was a bartender for a while. I was a host for a while, a runner for a while. And I said, let me go to cooking school so at least I understand every aspect of the business. I did the same thing here. Like everything that we do at GaS Digital, I learned first and then taught everybody. Because about that way, now I probably couldn't do it. But at one point I would say I was the best producer here until we moved here and I set everything up. I've not done that in a very long time. But when we first started my house, a 4-camera switch to do this was $15,000. And I didn't want to spend $15,000. So I found a card that plugs into a computer that came with Japanese instructions. And I used Google Translate to get the drivers for it to work. And it was $600.
And what did that card do?
It was a multi-camera switch. It allowed you. It was a card that I've built my last 3 computers. But this was a card, like a PCI slot card. And in the back was 4 slots for cameras. And I was able to do a camera switching without needing what at the time was called the TriCaster. They still kind of exist. Now there's Blackmagic and all these. We're talking about 10 years ago now. So there wasn't a lot of options.
Wow. So if you're going in, like, let's say if you started everything from the beginning, is there anything you would do differently?
Oh, yeah. We made every fucking mistake possible. The dumbest decision Louis and I made, which everybody makes this fucking mistake, which is when we were building the first website. I mean, I built the first website, but it wasn't fully functional. It was just kind of the first website. And when we finally said, all right, we need to take subscriptions and all this other stuff, we got 3 proposals. And what did we do? We took the cheapest one.
Yep.
And we've been paying for that ever since because all these legacy subscribers are still beholden to WordPress because that's what we built this fucking website on, which is horrible. But to me, it's so much hard to create updates and new features because it will not be backwards compatible and we'll lose all the subscribers that have been with us since the beginning.
And there's no way to transfer them.
We've been doing it. We're very close. It's been a real arduous thing, but I think by the end of this year we'll be off of it finally.
Cool. Hey Nat, are you able to load up any of those videos? No, we're still having issues with it technically?
No, I restarted. It's still not.
All right, no
We have
worries.
so many good videos for you to react to.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nah,
And it's my studios that are fucked up. That's
Jeez, man. If only we could find the guy responsible.
I don't know how it happened. Yeah, she texted me earlier about it, and I know this was working yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't want to stop your show and start figuring it all out. What's going on? But
it's okay. We could derail. Oh, actually, in this moment, we should mention the sponsor.
So, our sponsor for the Close the Door Behind You podcast is Izakaya Juraku. If you're ever here in Manhattan, come down to Lower East Side, Ludlow, and Delancey. Come visit Kyo at his place, Izakaya Juraku. Get some shake fries, some sake, get some Japanese whiskey. Come check us out. Thank you, Izakaya Juraku, for supplying us with tons of whiskey and beer and Asahi.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And thank you, Asahi, for being okay with, providing the sponsorship, because I know I say a lot of racist things. And
Just no more zero alcoholic beer.
Yeah. That's crazy. But Asahi is the king of beer. No, Kirin is the king of beers. No,
Budweiser is the king of
Budweiser, I
beers.
thought, was the king of beers.
Well, in Japan, it's Kirin, Asahi, Sapporo.
But they don't use that slogan.
I think
Do they use the emperor of
Kirin
beers?
Ichiban means like #1 beer,
Oh,
so it's
okay.
kind of like that. Yeah, but Asahi is my favorite of the beers.
What's your favorite kind of food?
So what's weird is that there is no food I don't like, right? I try to really, I travel, I love to travel, and whenever I travel, I want to try weird foods.
Right.
So a lot of weird foods I had that I didn't like, but other than that, most food I love.
Chicken feet.
I've never had it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I never had it.
You could go to Chinatown right
Yeah,
now.
I've never had chicken feet. But I've had bear, I've had raw whale.
Oh, I've had whale too.
Yeah, I've had...
In Japan, do you have whale?
No, I had whale in Iceland.
Oh, yeah, that's a
all
good
right,
spot.
cool.
Yeah.
Bear. What's bear like?
It was fine. I had that in Estonia.
Okay.
It didn't... Most of the weird meats...
Right.
I don't think to myself, why is this not more popular? Except with elk. I thought elk was one of the best meats I ever had.
Yeah, elk's
and
good.
that was like, why the fuck is this not everywhere? It's
Right.
delicious.
Yeah.
But most of them, at least to my palate, I didn't grow up with it. Any bugs I've ever had, brains, whatever the weird ones, I'm always like, oh, okay, it's fine. I don't need this again.
Yeah.
But just because it's foreign to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if they were good, like we would mass produce
You'd
them
think,
in America.
yeah, but or at least if they were good to our dumb American palates.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever had ostrich?
I've had ostrich. I
It's
don't
pretty
like,
good.
I
I
don't
liked
like
it.
ostrich.
Why?
It's too stringy.
Oh, yeah.
And I just felt like the texture of ostrich was off for me.
You ever
Felt
eaten
like
iguana?
duck though.
I've had iguana. It's fine. You know, all those
Stringy
are fine.
as well.
It's just, stringy
Scorpion?
too. No, but I've had crickets,
Okay.
ants, maybe one or two other bugs, but none of them were great.
I got a question for you. What were you doing in Estonia?
So I had never left this country. Well, I was 34. I'd only been to Mexico and Canada, and back then you didn't need a passport.
Right.
And then there was this article I read that said, this is back 20 years ago, 22 years ago, that 75% of Americans don't have a passport, and of the 25% that do, half of them never use it.
Right.
I was like, God damn it, I'm another stupid American, right? So I made a New Year's Eve, is also my birthday, resolution that I would leave this country every year for the rest of my life. And when I first started, I was 35. It's like, I can't go to London. That's so stupid. Like, everyone goes to London.
Right.
So I picked weird countries.
Yeah.
So one of the first areas I went to was Poland and Estonia.
Wow. And Poland's having a big glow up right now.
Now, this
Yeah.
was 20 years ago. but
Yeah. People love Poland.
Because all the hot Ukrainian chicks fled the country. That's probably why.
Well, they're also like they're like the most successful country in the European Union right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good for
like
them.
they're doing really well financially.
I heard Latvia has a shortage of men.
Really?
Yeah, and like there's just so many single women in Latvia.
So why aren't you going there?
Believe me, I'm going. I'm going this year.
This year?
I just heard it about a week ago, so I'll be there.
You canceled your other trip?
Yeah, I will fucking go there this year for sure.
Latvia. Do you want to go to Latvia?
I was there once years ago.
Sure.
Oh, really?
Why not?
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's a lot of the Eastern European countries feel the same. They all have that because Russia was so dominant.
Yeah.
And they all kind of have the same architecture and stuff.
And sadness.
And sadness, yeah. But I did bad with women in Russia, but I did good in Lithuania and Latvia.
Because of Russia, they were the only ones taller than you?
No, Russia. Well, Ukraine sucked at the time, and Russia sucked. Russia, nobody at the time, nobody spoke a drop of English.
Right.
So that was difficult, But in Ukraine at the time, this is maybe 2010, maybe earlier. the men were like, "You're here to fucking take our women," and they were like very
territorial,
confrontational, territorial. It was not comfortable.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, it's because you're so tall, right? Like if I went over there, no one would see me as a threat.
I'm just a giant puss, though. I have never been in a fight. So.
You've never been in a fight?
No.
Do you want to fight right now?
No, I'll probably lose.
He almost got in a fight last night.
Why?
Okay, let me ask you
Questioned
this.
his doctor credentials?
No, we questioned the credentials of a guy who probably thought he was an ICE agent. But this. Okay.
So this guy. Well, go ahead. You tell.
Yeah,
the story.
no, because you were in it. But like, my only question before any of that is, if a guy like is talking to you in an accent and he's like, "Hey man, Jew don't have a blah 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 blah," is that guy Italian or Spanish?
The way you just said it?
Yeah.
It sounds Spanish to me.
Thank you. You. Okay, go ahead.
But you may have been saying it purposefully more.
No,
Spanish.
he was saying Jew.
Okay.
Jew.
Okay.
Unless he knew that he was a chosen person.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But it was very clearly in place of you.
Yeah.
No, he just he started getting a little bit aggressive with one of our friends, and then so in
We were at
Spanish.
Rodney's comedy club.
So in Spanish, I told him like, dude, you need to relax. These are just jokes. It was a mic, and he like kind of looked at me weird, and then I went, and then he came up to me later and was just like, why do you think I'm Latin? I'm from Italy, and I'm like, dude, I'm more Italian than you are. Like, what are you talking about? And he kept getting super offended. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I kept moving away until and then the guy kept following us. And let's just say that it kind of, whatever.
Did it escalate to an actual,
It escalated to him taking his jacket off, ready to throw hands.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah. But he was like one of those people where like one of the comics like asked him in the audience, where are you from? And he like wouldn't answer.
Okay. So he's looking for problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
almost
clearly
was in like 3 fights, but every time I just acted like I wanted to fight, even though I'm such a puss. But at 6'6",
you're scary at 6'6".
scary enough.
Yeah.
And then one of the times the guy was like, all right, let's go. We were walking out of the club to go fight outside. And I said to myself, all right, if he gets past that chair, I'm going to have to admit that I am not going to fight him. And it was like a bunch of us, and he just like, right, we got right to where I mentally was going to admit that I'm a puss. He just went, you're not worth it, and walked away.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank God.
That's
He was
great.
2 steps away from winning this.
Wow.
That's funny.
Huh.
All right, so we're going to progress onto what's called the lightning round. So here on the Closed Door Behind You podcast, we have the lightning round, which is where we ask the same set of questions to our guests. So I'm going to start it off. Ralph Sutton, you find yourself in an unfortunate situation and you get arrested. Who is your first phone call to?
My brother, 100%.
He has.
Is he an attorney?
No, but he can definitely get it and deal with it. He would be the right guy to call.
He's been to jail?
He's not been in jail. It's funny. We're both pussies. We're entitled pussies, my brother and I. But we're Jews, so we know lawyers and stuff.
Yeah.
But he would be my first call, and he would find whatever he needs to
He'd
find.
figure it out for you.
figure it
All
out
right,
for me.
cool.
Okay.
We're twins. I told you.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
twins.
cool.
But he's bald, right?
Yeah, he's 5'7" too, and we
Yeah.
were twins born in different years because I was born December 31st. He was born January 1st.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
69,
Holy cow.
70. First time twins were born in different decades.
That was like a historical moment?
No, because my father, being a Jew, decided to save money on tax deductions, and we lied and said we were both born in 69. But if you Google it, I think it says 99 2000 or 89 90 that the first time twins were born in different decades was really me.
Wow. That's crazy. You can't go retroactively.
No,
call
I
the
think
Guinness
everyone's
Book?
dead. How the fuck are you going to prove it now,
Damn.
All right, your
Doc-
turn.
Okay, what's one life hack that you know about that you think more people should know about?
So I have a health podcast where I go try dumb shit.
Okay.
Right? And I say, how long before this is going to make me feel whatever it's supposed to feel? And I go in full force, give it a shot, let's see what happens. And with enthusiasm and open-mindedness. And some of them I love, some of them I don't. The one I believe is why I barely get sick, and you're a doctor, you could disagree with this, is growing your own sprouts. Because A, requires no sunlight, no dirt, it's ready in about 4 days, it's cheap as shit, and it's the most bioavailable vitamins you can eat. So broccoli sprouts, lentil sprouts, I eat a handful of them every fucking day, and I have barely gotten sick in the
Will it
past
make
4 or
us
5
taller?
years. It won't make you taller.
Ah, shit.
Wait, so sprouts like not like a potato?
No, like a broccoli, you buy the seeds, and they're so cheap.
Okay.
It's like $10 for a giant bag of seeds. And 2 spoonfuls of these fucking seeds will fill a jar within a few days, and I just put them in everything. and you are getting all my numbers. Like I just had my annual physical are great. And that's a big difference. I really believe it.
Wait, so if you don't use dirt, how do they grow?
You fill it with water for overnight, and then after that, the sprout machines on not machines but sprout kits on Amazon for like $20. You basically filling it with water and emptying it twice a day. Fill it with water, empty it, and let it hang out. Fill water, empty it. After about 3-4 days, the jar will be full, and you just take them out, dry them off, and take a handful every day.
Wow,
I'm telling you,
like chia seeds.
Like chia seeds will grow, or what's the one? Yeah, chia pet things. Yeah, but those chia seeds are different because they get more gelatinous.
Yeah, they get that membrane around them.
You may disagree with me.
No, I don't disagree.
Because you're eating the whole vegetable. Like you're eating broccoli, you're just eating the top. But with this, you're eating the stalk, the root, and because in its earlier stages, you assimilate, supposedly, the vitamins more.
I mean, I would never argue that eating more vegetables or anything organic is, not good for you.
Right.
So yeah, I've definitely never heard somebody doing that at home. So that's pretty progressive of you. That's awesome.
How long have you been doing this?
2 years. I also, I helped start the company Juice Press here in New York.
Juice Press.
Which has at one point had 90 locations.
Wow.
But then the owner sold it. And then he and I do a health podcast called Good Sugar, and I own a piece of the store on the Upper East Side called Good Sugar on 69th and 3rd. It's all vegan and no single-use plastic.
Are you vegan?
I'm not vegan. I think we just all should eat more vegetables.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I have another question for you. My question is, if you could invite anybody live or dead to dinner, who would that person be?
So, God, that's a good question. I'm trying to think if I would go with someone I would love to talk to from my podcast. That's the way I always think about things, is how to make money out of my podcast, versus something.
A private conversation where
just a private
so you could be super intimate about it. You wouldn't have to worry that other people are finding out these details. Like it's just you and this person broing out, getting deep, and you don't have to worry about other people listening in.
I would say just because he's brought so much fucking joy to my family and my life, while he's still around, Mel Brooks.
Nice.
Would love to talk with Mel Brooks. I listened to his book. I mean, his movies I watch on repeat.
Right.
And I just would love to have that opportunity to sit and talk with him. That would probably be it.
Top 3 Mel Brooks movies.
Young Frankenstein's number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
High Anxiety is number 2.
Okay.
And then I'd put like almost every other one under 3. Like those 2 are my 2 favorites.
Yeah. Young Frankenstein's
Young
awesome.
Frankenstein's unbelievable and holds up. Same thing with High Anxiety. I'd say Blazing Saddles maybe 3 if I had to pick 3. But and there's some stinkers in there for sure. The older one, the later ones are not great.
Yeah.
But
Spaceballs, nah.
Spaceballs is his most successful one. You know that.
Yeah, I know that.
But it's not great,
Yeah.
But those 3, there's a holy trinity of fucking movies for me.
Wow. Yeah, I was just watching the History of the World.
Great movie.
Like
I saw that in the theaters. That's how old I am.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, there's some baddies in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, Dracula Dead and Loving It sucks. I walked out of that one.
Really?
Yeah, I've tried making it through that movie. I've never been able to make it through it.
The first time I watched Young Frankenstein as a kid, I was like, I can't watch this. It's like too old. And then I realized later, I was like, oh, they made it look old.
Yeah.
And
It's funny.
Then I got really into it.
We had Neil deGrasse Tyson on SDR, and he told the story. I think it was on our podcast, maybe not, but how he saw Wizard of Oz originally on a black and white TV because his parents couldn't afford a color TV. So when it goes to Oz, nothing changed for him because when it goes to color.
Yeah.
And he never understood why people love, like, what was the big fucking deal? And it wasn't until he saw it years later. It's like, oh.
He's like, Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, yellow. What the fuck is this? It's a gray brick road. Yeah.
That's awesome. The Wizard of Oz, though, the flying monkeys and the midgets killing themselves and stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. You love those stories. Love to hear those stories.
Are you a conspiracy theorist at all?
I like conspiracy theories because not very often, but sometimes they're true. Mm-hmm. So your modern day ones, like they were poisoning alcohol during the Prohibition. That's been proven. Mm-hmm. They faked a war to change the narrative I think during the Nixon administration. So I like people that are pushing buttons and thinking to outside of of the norm, which I'm fine with. But when the overwhelming evidence, I'm not trying to keep dropping names on the show. We had Gene Simmons on SDR back when it was in my house. So he's in my house. Me and at the time Zach Amico was the co-host. And one of the clips went viral recently, which is funny because from 10 years ago. But my girlfriend at the time was a pretty girl, so Gene only cared about the fucking girl. And so talking to her, and we find out live on the show that she was a flat earther. I didn't know, right? And then they're making fun of me, like, how do you not know? Like, when do you bring that up in a normal conversation? Like, why would I think to ask? It's her job to bring that up, you know? So that is an example of stupid conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But there are some that I'm all sure. If there's some potential evidence for it, when that can't be proven wrong immediately, like flat Earth, all for it. Let's fucking get it out there.
So you didn't notice, like, every time she passed a globe, she would, like, scoff?
Yeah, she would squish it.
Like, this is bullshit. Propaganda.
And then she started getting more and more crazy. I remember when we went to go see fucking Arrival, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then when the big ship landed, not joking, she said to me, the one that actually came was much bigger. And I say, in the theater, I said to her, why can't you be fucking normal? Like, because she was so hot. I was like trying to look past it, and I just couldn't look past it.
Yeah, because she didn't have to be normal. 'Cause she was so hot.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the worst vacation you've ever been on?
I just went on it. So this is crazy. I am very well documented creep. So I apologize. You know, I'm 56. I'm still single. Never married, no kids. So I hit on women on Instagram a lot, and it works. You know, especially like early on, it worked better than now because sounds like a shitty brag, but when you get a blue check back then, when it meant something, girl would talk to you because you had a fucking blue check. Like, oh, he must be important, right? Now anyone can buy one, so that diminished my hitting on abilities. But this girl I just recently was talking for about a year. She was from Amsterdam, and we've been talking about what we done. She was going to be going to Mexico on some modeling gig. So I shot the idea, how about you go to Aruba on your way? It's a direct flight from Amsterdam to Aruba because they own Aruba. I'll fly to Aruba. We'll meet in Aruba, and then you go to Mexico for your modeling gig. We'll go there for a long weekend. This is 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to tell the whole story because it's like 20-minute long. I don't want to bore you. But just say that she was so hard to deal with that we got there. I got there Thursday afternoon. She came Thursday night. 3 o'clock in the morning, Thursday to Friday. I changed my flight, and I left the next morning. And I let her stay. I said, look, the hotel's paid for. Enjoy. And I was in Aruba for less than 24 hours.
Was she just like combative?
Combative, super rude to staff. Like,
oh, that's the worst.
Like, poor kid comes over to the table. He had like 2 big diamond earrings.
Yeah.
And she goes to him, hey, word of advice. You look stupid with those earrings. You should take them out.
No.
Yeah.
What?
I said, what the fuck are you doing?
You were dating Chevy Chase.
Yeah, it was like back and like several times I would be correcting her on things like that. And she said, why do you care? I'm nice to you. I'm like, I fucking care. It says, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, plus these people are bringing us the food, and they go back to the kitchen when we're not watching.
And it was so much worse than that. There's so much more to it. But,
what was the last straw?
She wouldn't let me sleep because we were arguing about things. And I was like, let's just go to sleep. We could talk about it in the morning. And she started, which is so weird. Imagine I'm sleeping. She put her fingers in my mouth and started pulling me towards and saying, listen to me.
Some people would pay good money for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you at least get to have sex with her?
I didn't want to. And she's beautiful.
Wow,
I'll show you a
that's saying
picture
a lot.
after.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. But I couldn't do it. And I just knew I wanted. Then what happened was, because of the storm was hitting, I got a notification from Delta saying, your Monday flight may be moved as late as Thursday.
No.
So if you need to get back to New York, you should change your flight. And I said, oh, shit. And I tried Sunday, sold out. Saturday was sold out. Friday was available. I got one of the last seats. I'm like, fuck it. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here.
You had a hard out.
Yeah, I was
It
out.
was like God was like giving
God
you
told
like
me,
a
get
sign.
the fuck
like,
out.
Yeah, he was like, I gave you all these other signs.
And then I was nervous because she was in the hotel that I paid for.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I explained to the staff, she's allowed to get dinner, breakfast and dinner free.
Right.
I'll pay for that. But no, don't fill the minibar, no drinks. I'm not paying for that. I will deny the charge. But I had to be nice to her because I didn't want her to fucking break the fucking room or whatever.
Sure.
So the second that she, like, my first relief joy moment was when my plane left. I was on the plane going, thank God. And then I was just on pins and needles until I knew she checked out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh, thank God.
And you called to validate everything.
Everything.
Was cool.
Made sure I went through everything was fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And she's still not texting like, maybe you should come to Mexico. We could try again. I was nervous or whatever. It was crazy.
Yeah, they called you. They were like, "Sir, I know this wasn't something that you wanted to watch out for, but like 12 men just came in."
I'd be happy. Good. As long as it didn't charge me. I'm fine with that.
That's awesome.
All right, your turn for a question.
Oh yeah. So what's one subject matter that you have a lot of knowledge of that people would be surprised that you do?
Star Trek?
Yeah.
Love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Original or all
Everything.
Of them?
I'm watching the new series now religiously.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. The new
You like
series.
the movies too?
Everything.
The new movies?
Everything. I think I've seen everything Star Trek.
Wow.
Yeah, and I can talk Star Trek. Yeah, so
Holy
probably-
cow! Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, people know I know 80s rock and early rap and shit like that because we talk about that a lot on the show. But I don't think I bring up Star Trek a lot.
Yeah, dude. We should get you on the Nerd Podcast.
Yeah, I know a
That's
lot
cool.
about Star Trek.
How about you were like in the whole like envelope of rock stars and rock music. Who's your favorite band of all time?
So I'm a shitty answer with a lot of these things. Like I don't have a favorite food. I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite band.
Top 5 bands.
But there's a band that I was really into growing up, which is you're too young to know them.
I might.
It's a band called Queensryche.
Yeah,
Dude, we talked about
Silent-
Queensryche. I
Silent
met Jeff
Lucidity.
You
because
met
of
Jeff
you.
Day because of me. I forgot. Right. My brain's.
What do you think? Is Silent Lucidity too close to Pink
right.
Floyd's
No, it's great. I think I know what you say.
Comfortably Numb?
Comfortably Numb. No, it's different. It was also, especially the fact that there really wasn't a chorus. It was structurally really unique and different. I think it was different than that. Comfortably Numb had a clear chorus.
Right, no, it's a good tune for sure.
I forgot about how much he loved Jeff Tate. That's right.
Yeah.
And he invited me. I didn't go, but I was supposed to go to his. He does like a weekend in Italy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was gonna. He asked me to come, but I just couldn't go that week. But the Queensryche, and I think we may have talked about this. But so I love them. I did have their poster on my wall. That was one of the first interviews that excited me on my old radio show. And then when I was hosting Shiprocked, they would be on a few times. I became friends with them, and
Cool.
it was great to say that through the radio show and whatnot. And then a hilarious story was I ended up having sex with his daughter, right? And
All
Wow.
our dreams just came true.
I didn't know, and it's his stepdaughter, but it's his, he raised her.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I wanted to bring it up in a funny way on the show
Mm-hmm.
because I thought he knew, but I wasn't sure if he knew.
Oh.
And what a funny way to think. So I actually called her and said, "Is it okay if I bring it up?" Because we're not friends anymore. But I just and she goes, "I mean, we're not angry. We're not angry with each
No
other.
bad blood,
No
yeah.
bad blood." And she goes, "I think he knows." I said, "Okay." So, and I was like, I didn't want to say, "Hey, did you know I fucked your daughter?" That's also horrible. So I said, we were playing rapid fire questions like this. I said, "When's the last time you spoke to Chris DeGarmo?" And he answered that. "When's the last time this?" I said, "Do you know that I went on a date with your daughter?" And he goes, "Oh yeah."
He knew.
He knew. Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
So, and you didn't say it so crass.
I said that, yeah. I went on a date
I
with
went
your
on a
daughter.
date with
It's
your
a
daughter.
nicer
It
way
went
to
well.
put it. Yeah, it's a nicer way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, is it the daughter that can sing?
No, I don't think she sings.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I think one of the times I saw them live, like after the split,
Mm-hmm.
right? He had like his daughter singing with him or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. I don't think she sings. She was dating the guitarist in the band, the younger guitarist in the band for a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it was just funny. So it's a great. I couldn't be much closer to Queensryche because it's pretty.
That's awesome. All right, top 3 Queensryche albums.
Well, it's definitely Operation Mindcrime.
Yeah.
And Empire.
Yeah.
And then I would probably say the EP.
Really?
Yeah, because it just
Queen of the Reich?
Queen of the Reich, just because it was so different.
Yeah.
At the time, it was. I mean, I got into them late, which I got into them from Operation Mindcrime. I was with a girl in New Jersey. It was late at night. I had to drive home,
Mm-hmm.
and WSOU, the Jersey rock station, college rock station, said this new album came out, and we're just going to play it start to finish.
Yeah.
And I listened to it driving home, and went out and bought it the next day. And I became a fucking crazy Queensryche fan from that point forward.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I would put Empire as my number 1, probably just because I'm a contrarian.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Operation Mindcrime. But the album that I love that most people shit on
Promised
is
Land?
Promised Land.
Yeah, it's a great record. No, it's a
right.
great record.
They're like, oh, it's too grunge. I'm
No,
like,
no.
I actually
It's
like
a
it.
great record.
Yeah.
Promised Land has the bridge on it, right?
Yeah, the
That's
bridge
a
is
great
one of
song.
I would put that
That's
higher
one
than
of the
Silent
best songs.
Lucidity.
That's one of their best songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge is so good.
Yeah, it's a great song.
So besides podcasting, music, breakdancing, you have any other hobbies that you're
I'm
still
a
pursuing?
lunatic runner. I run 30 to 35 miles a week. The story, and I've said this a lot, so I apologize, but I got super fat after my father passed away. He was sick for a year, then he died. Then like 3 days later, my uncle got sick, and I had to take care of him for like 4 years. And I gained like 150 pounds. I was super fat. And then nothing like being on a comedy podcast network to be called a fat fuck every day, and that I was going to die. Bay Shrek was a good one, right? And just one day, when it was an episode with Tony Hinchcliffe, and Jay challenged me to do a pull-up. Not that Jay could do one, but I was delusional that I was still in shape and I could do a pull-up. And there's a video of it, me right out here at GaS Digital, and I couldn't get up one pull-up, right? And the video, I saw the side of me for the first time, like really, I'm like, oh, fuck, I really am fat, you know? And I think it was that the next day where I ate a whole pizza pie and a whole pint of ice cream and then went out to dinner with some friends. I was like, oh, I'm going to fucking die. Like, this is what's going to happen. So one day I said, I'm going to fucking start running. And I ran every other day for 2 years until I could run a half marathon comfortably, and then spent 2 years every other month running a half marathon in a different country. I ran 10 of them. And now I run 35 miles a week.
Wow.
And I lost about 115 pounds.
And you ran through the snow and everything?
Everything. I will be out tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 9 degrees. I'll be out tomorrow running 10 miles.
Wow. What's your hack on like being able to like just do it?
Nike? No.
Exactly.
I would say that one of the things that helped me was accountability. So posting about it, even though it's just my own stupid way of thinking it's important, I don't want to not miss that. Number 2 is I love listening to educational or interesting podcasts or books when I run, but I will not listen to them any other time. So if I really want to hear, like the Mel Brooks book, whatever, and I really want to hear the next chapter, I'm like, well, I got to go out and fucking run if I'm going to listen to it. And
that's actually a really good hack. What about, I mean, it sounds like you're really into nutrition as well, though. That must have like somehow weighed into you losing all this weight as well.
True. Stopped eating shit, you know, but the truth is, like, I don't think you might know this, but you know that I'm hilariously a best-selling author because I put out a book called The 100% Guaranteed Guide to Weight Loss and Fitness. And it was a 200-page book. But chapter 1, the first page says eat less. Chapter 2, the second page said work out more. And then 198 blank pages. And I told people, I'll give you your money back if this doesn't work. Yeah.
And it worked.
Funny. And it worked. Yeah. So it's not even about, yes, of course, if you want to get into phenomenal shape, you really should worry about exactly what you're eating. But if you're eating 20 Twinkies a day and you go down to 15, you're going to lose weight, you know? And just the fact that if you're eating a steak every day, that's 16 ounces, eat an 8-ounce steak, you're going to lose weight, you know?
Yeah.
And then when it's down to when you're in a somewhat healthy weight and you want to be healthy, then you can start worrying about the actual changes.
Are you worried about yo-yoing?
No, I mean, it's been 5 years now.
Yeah.
So it started in 2021 or 2020. And I'm currently the lowest weight I've been in like 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we're kind of, I think we have one more lightning round question, and then we're going to have everybody, they're going to be able to ask you where can they find Ralph Sutton, like obviously GaS Digital,
On
anything
Instagram,
in particular?
hitting on chicks.
Yeah. So
Anything that you want to promote?
You just have to step up your game now that the blue check mark doesn't
Yeah,
work.
you just have to, so there used to be, God, this is such a douchebaggy thing, so I apologize. But I thought he was taking out notes.
He's taking mental notes.
This is an old story, but when hashtags were popular, one time Instagram said to me, "Oh, you keep liking hashtags, the hashtag New York. You should consider following it." And that's when I realized, oh, hot girls come to New York for the first time. They type in hashtag New York. So I would look and see these, and I would DM them saying, "Hope you enjoy your trip. By the way, I'm a great tour guide if you need one."
Oh my God.
And it worked a lot.
Wow.
That worked a lot. But now no one does hashtags anymore. And then also used to be that if you DM'd a girl and you're not following each other, you're in the fucking request folder that they may not see for months on end, right? And then you're so buried in their messages that they'll probably never see your message. You can't do this anymore either. I would just delete the message. They would never know, and resend the message. Then you're back up at the top.
Right.
Sometimes there'd be a girl I go on a date with. It was like the 7th time I sent a message, but to them it was the first time. Now you can't do that anymore.
Oh, why? Because they could see it?
It can see that you deleted a message, or if it's the first message, I don't think you can delete a first message. Something like that. But whatever it is, it's fucked up my game.
Damn. What have you considered trying like the Indian guy method?
Which is what?
You just comment, "Oh, baby, you're so beautiful" on every post.
That works really well. Yeah, girls love that. Girls love that.
Yeah. I love it when female comics complain about like these guys like shitting on them or whatever in like posts, and then like there's a ton of like Indian guys like saying like, "Oh, I don't care that you're not funny. I still want to fuck you." Like they'll comment on mine and just be like, "Fuck you." And,
Right,
like,
right.
At least try to fuck me, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, try.
Yeah. Try. Yeah. I'll fly over.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on our Closed Door Behind You podcast. Everybody, please like and subscribe. And that's it for Ralph Sutton. Thanks again for coming on.
What's your Instagram handles and stuff?
I am Ralph Sutton at the SDR Show and at GaS Digital. At Good Sugar. At Good Sugar.
Yeah, cool.
Beautiful. All right.
Thanks,
we're out.
guys.